Monday, the 12th. So I'm looking at a trade setup right here on a 5-minute E-mini S&P. A purchase price at this 398.84, 39.84 even. We don't do even numbers, 25, right? So 39.8425. Okay. So I was waiting for this bar to actually to close. So here's the market down to here. And we have some high-end closes here after buying in the background. This formed a trading range going sideways. Buying tail, buying tail. Now we have a jump over the creek. The buy at, I apologize, I didn't show a screen. So anyway, so here's a trade. This 39.8425 buy. And the reasoning is for it, we have bullishness, buying, all absorption here. And we see absorption. This is live, right? Absorption. We have the jump over the creek. The Wyckoff safest trade is to buy a retest, the jump over the creek. You notice on this retest right now, we have lighter volume. Sorry about no charts before. I'll set it up. So we see the market now going up, absorption, jump over the creek, increasing volume, a little low close, but the volume dries up. The retest perfectly to our buy area, 38.24. We're going to look to take the market from a vertical area wise, looking for a minimum target of 39.98.25. See if they get up there, and we'll play it out for here and see the market plays over here. So we'll see what happens. So this is the LPSY area. If the market's strong, we don't have to get there, right? So we have three buys possible. We have the LPS buy. We have the retest a jump over the creek buy, and we are just a halfway back of a major bar, but there hasn't been one. So let's just play this out and see what we get here. The stop will be under here at 30. This is going to be a longer to see at 39.7625 stop. But if the market acts poorly, we're not going to let our. That's a disaster stop for Wyckoff. So we're looking for 30. We're not actually right. 39.7625. We don't want to put even numbers. Stop. 8 picks, $4. But if we start to look like week, we'll get out. And we'll see. So far, we'll see what the market does here on the side. I'll leave your comments here. LPS rather. This LPS, right? I'm sorry. It is LPS. See, it's the first day I did this, right? It's LPS. You were correct. LPS. And so we should. This is okay. Close. So we see the market tends to react wise. So yeah, as long as we stay, this is lower. As long as you don't really supply coming with volume, the market should target the upside, right? The market went to that. So the low was 25 here, right? So we'll see if we get up area wise and take this up higher. If you did 2 units, we will sell one up here and then let one ride, okay? So we'll see what they do. So it's a perfect example of a retest of breaking the ice. I'm sorry, breaking the creek's resistance. This is a 15-minute chart, 15-minute E-mini S&P. And it's live, right? It's live trade we're doing on Monday. Monday was it? 11th? 12th? What was the date? It's 12th. Let's see, 12th. I think it's 12th, right? And so what happened? So we should see buy here, stop. If we get above this high here, we'll raise our stop to break even. So see, yeah, you're right. So as long as you don't get supply, the market should be okay. We may play around if you as far as that goes. Now this is so these are not bad, even though they're low end closes, they're not bad closes because we don't have supply that's going to the market. So this may be a long tape if it doesn't. So when you get this action, right, you're not buying this here. We bought the retest here, okay, and we have a higher trading range that was formed, right? So this is live, and we see this market going up over the creek, playing around. No really entry here. This could have been an entry, right? Because it's off the low, high volume off the low. But we get buying, and now this is a spring. That there was a springboard that we could have bought, right? Or waiting for the retest of the jump over the creek. So your first opportunity to buy was the springboard, right? We talked about that in the room before we started to record. Okay, the springboard, and then the buy retest. Okay, those were two opportunities as far as that goes. So the springboard, because there was another, there's two actually, right? There's springboard here and springboard here, right? You didn't know this is a retest of a springboard, right? So both of those are actually springboard, right? Both of those are actually springboards, right? You don't know if we're going to mark off from here or here. Now, if this is an early part of the stage, you probably have to fill out more. But this is on the right-hand side of the trading range, isn't it? This is the right-hand side of the trading range, right? So so there's two, right? But this is the higher trade rate, right? So you have a trading range, and now we formed a higher trading range. Right? We formed a higher trading range. And then we should get up to this area wise. The first resistance that the market may stall at is 92 level. Well, if you had two of them, you want to take one off, you make 8 points, $4 profit you many. So there's always advisable for Zekos. Okay. And as long as we don't get supply in the market, the story remains bullish, right? What could go wrong? Obviously, some type of report, obviously, some type of negative news that could wash out and maybe to the LPS area. Maybe over it, who knows? So you don't mind necessarily that you stay stagnant. You say, well, it's not really getting demand. It's not demand that's got to prove itself. It's the sell. Remember, this is an intraday chart. So you could have it, you can be bearish and still go up. What's your short covering? Or you can be bullish and follow the path of least resistance. So watch it. Here's a retest. Again, not a bad close. I think if it was a bad close, it's no supply. Steady volume above, indicating that there's no change of behavior, right? The market in the path of these resistance right now is up, right? So there's that back and filling that we have that's going on, right? So we want to see the markets. And ideally, you'd want to see the markets have a little more volumes and upside than downside. Simply because you want, buying to overcome selling, but it's not necessarily a criteria for that right now, right? So your idea of the stuff. So, even if the market has low end closes here or high end closes, preferably high end, it doesn't change the story, right? The story doesn't change. Okay? The story doesn't change, right? The story remains the same until we have some type of change of behavior. We all know what that represents, right? So you remember, as we go sideways, we build more count. So even though the count here was only like 93, I guess we're going to be up here. I thought we'd fill out a little bit before we got to here. Right? Does that make sense? Right. The car's not used up, right? I mean, look, you got all this cost being built up from last night in Europe. We haven't used up costs. We haven't used up costs. One of the things that we talk to people, and people want live trading and things. Well, here you're doing live trading and doing setups at the same time. It's all marked and everything else. So I don't know what else, in a sense, you guys can want. And, not doing this on, I say, it looks good, I'll just buy it or sell it. It's all based upon Wyckoff parameters to the market, right? So, okay. So understand that, understand that these closes that we talk about, these closes don't matter too much because the story stays the same. In fact, you could probably say it's a little shorter than downward thrust, right? A little smaller range, same volume, right? So there. So yeah. So as you see the transition of the market going higher, and you have a situation you just ride. This is bullish for the market as we go sideways because it's building more cause, right? Yes, we like the immediate acceptance of a market, but yeah, I mean, you could, I mean, if it gets a little bit higher here, we'll raise the stop to break even, right? We got the point. We got the point here. Went to 30. Went to 390.84. We got at 25. So we should. So ideally, what you want is these retests to come by halfway back bar, halfway back on the previous bar, right? Ideally, right? You know what I mean? Halfway back, halfway back. Right. But how much? How much? So simply this way buying a simple retest of the jump over the creek. How much heat did you take? All real time, all live for you. Those of you that want to take profit here, 92.50 on the retest, then hold one. You could do so because you may retest to come back down. Still looking for this target up here though. This comes in now. This line comes in at 95.75, right? Right. So we see the market doing up. I would probably take one off in the case of the upthrust possibility here. Okay. So if you want to sell half here, and we'll do the sell 1/2. Okay. Move the stop up to break even at the other one. So we're going to put the stop in now. This was what? 88. Let's move the stop up. 398.625. That'll lock in 4 points. That'll lock in 4 points here. In this case of an upthrust, they do take us out. We should not get much under here. See, you always have the possibility the first time. So this could be an upthrust probe, right? This could be an upthrust probe. So that's why taking half off at resistance is always a decent idea, right? Come back, maybe gonna come down here and spring, but we're gonna put here to make sure that that it's one, you make 9 points, right? 9 handles. And the other one would be 2 handles. So 2 out would be 11 handles if you got stopped out. Okay. So you see no supply. So what happened was the market could not mark up. It sold off from the upthrust position. This is probably that probe, upthrust probe, right? So ideally, in the longer term, you'd put your stop under here. But we're not going to take a loss in the trade, right? So you can stop down at one, you hold the other one, but you got to, that's why I said if you sell one at half here, targets here, what we get up to? Up to 94. Okay. Remember, it's a 15-minute chart. So you have a halfway close. This way, the market will be at a point to where you'll get some, bounce of buyers lower. So we should react here. Let's see. We should react here. Hopefully, we close mid range and go. If we don't, and the market reverses and takes it out down here, so I'll be no problem. Right, no problem. If we take eight handles on one and 8.5 handles on one and two and it's 86 and two on the other one, still put you at 10 handles a day. It's $500. So still no supply. The story is still good. You like to see a mid range close. The close don't really matter, but ideally you like to see a close, mid range, just only because it gives you something to work with the next bar. But usually bar charts they don't have that much meaning because they're spaced, they're just timed. It doesn't necessarily mean that that you can't close low end and then reverse, right? The key is not having supply. If you're doing an hourly chart, you walk away. You put your stop under here and walk away. 15-minute chart's going to be more sensitive to price, guys, because it's important. But you want to be able to do two contracts. You can either mini contracts. But you want to be able to take one profit one. Obviously, the first retest of a high is a good area. In here, first retest of a high to resistance overbought. So we have to take one profit off, right, and hold the other one. So still no supply. So the overall story is still bullish, but it's just a long liquidation, in that regard, right? A long liquidation at a previous high makes sense. Just like buying a spring. Now, would you sell the market up thrust? No. If you sold it and it breaks hard, you're kind of lucky. Okay, and and that's okay. But eventually you get burned with that because you're going against trend. If you get a retest and now an up thrust now, no different story, right? And now we should hit back up. But we don't have any supply here, right? So this is that long liquidation that we have. This is long liquidation. Because it's not supply. So we'll see if it gets up to that target. The target now ends up to be 96.75, right? That's what I thought. Just by experience, I thought we spaced out here a little bit, right? So let's see if we get up there. If we get a couple of low line closes, then we'll liquidate and see if we get something to retest. So don't tell anybody. This is a retest of that low. So we don't see the volume come in. Yeah, let's see if they have a little springboard here. You may warn it. You see what's happening? It's forming the spacing. Since we didn't mark up, you're forming the spacing for a move over here, right? You know, type of thing. Getting more out there, so you're building more cause. Sometimes you just mark up and mark up, high volume. I mean absorption stuff. The the uh, absorption, vertical absorption, right? So let's see. So let's go for a little springboard. If it stops out, we build calls, we look for another entry. So, Puka, you mentioned about a little spring here. And let's see. But you're right, though. This type of action is what you want, right? So, Tuka mentioned about a little spring here. This you're looking for ending action on the right-hand side of spacing. Okay? Now, here, maybe a little more spacing, who knows? But here, we can maybe spring a couple bars, or we can go from here. My experience, we're going to fail and come back in here a little bit. But you could have bought this spring here with the stop, with 2 lot stop there. But let's just take it simple right now. There's no supply, right? You got steady volume. This is long liquidation. It's long liquidation. No supply. Now you're building more calls, right? It's the same message that we preach every day. There's really nothing, closes, you get a low end close here. Ideally, this close would have been higher, larger range, but you have a stop in place to lock in profit. You like to take the target, right? But you're also intraday. The target may not be, you don't have enough oomph. We'll see. It may get tired and you have to stop. But you have profit on one, you get careful. So, what can I say? What can I say? I don't think there's much to say. You let the work. I mean, it's. I don't know. What can I say? Don't know what I can do. Don't know what I can say. It's all there for consumption. What can I say? And Jack will say, "But what do you do for us live? How come everything's in hindsight? Why are you in hindsight, Gary?" And folks, this is not my work. This is Wyckoff's work. Okay, I mean, this is not Gary's thought idea. Now there's that retest. As Tuka says, looking for a little spring. This will be a little spring. I decide not to add on to that thing, presence wise, but you can do that. Move back to 98. Okay. I didn't because we still, this is resistance. We may still probe it up here. So I'm trying to take the original trade by doing that stuff. Okay. How come checks are quiet? So, if you wanted to take this, so that 325 fill, obviously the market went to 96, right? So that would be filled, of course. Because the high, we didn't get, we went to 94.50 here. So and we hit our 98. Look where it comes in now. Look where it comes in now. My oh my. Comes in here. This guy do it on this 15-minute chart. Come on. Come on, Papa. Come on. Two can eat new shoes. You gotta feed that damn bird before you eat it. Come on. The 1,000 people that are gonna watch this video are gonna say, "What the heck's he talking about?" You gotta talk to Marcos. Marcos Polos. Is he here? How come Chuck's so quiet? By the way, this should not be an exception to the rule, okay? This should be something that should be done, we have this set up all the time, at least the majority of the time. This is not a situation in which, oh my gosh, this is what's expected. I think he's with Scott, but this is what's expected, right? This is what's expected. Now, you don't want the market getting under this low here, right? Okay, this low is 37.75. Okay, so we don't want it going under this low, right? Yeah, we don't want that. We want the market to go now. We want the market to stay in the upper third of the range. Okay. We'll move the stop. It may be tight, but let's just play it close to this because it's a 15-minute chart. So lock in 4 points. There's no number that way. This is dumb, Gary. Give me it right. Where you going, Marcos? Certainly not to watch your soccer team. He's not making anybody tacos but himself. You see the price of meat? You're going to have to have more. Too expensive. He'd make tacos for himself. I don't know about that. I had some bad stuff. It's been break even ever since that big win. But you see the back and filling? You see that we have no supply? Yeah. But here, it's an upside probe. Upside probe. See if we get to our target. Good night, Marcus. Be safe. We got a little selling here, right? And we don't want any selling here now. No, this should get up there. Come on. Come on. By the way, 4,000 would be a psychological number as well. So let's see what happens. It's going to be as nice maybe as one of Tuca's trades, in which he shows us her yen. We did what live? On this trade. Yeah, but it took a long time to develop, didn't it? You don't know. This will be a long video. But, what can I say? Comes in right with that 38.75. So I said target. So I just, you can say, well, I remember it was by just experience. I thought the filling out process would take you up here. Okay. So. Well, what can I say? We met our criteria, right? Jump over the creek, trading range, buying the Wyckoff safest trade, retest a breaking of the ice, right? I mean, what can you say? I mean, met the criteria that we follow of a trade, and we get to the point where the market simply is a point to where it never, and what allowed us to hold this particular trade is the fact that we have no supply. Come on, push it. Tuca likes that song by Salt and Pepper. Push it, baby, push it. If Tuca was the other one, about the spring, The other one. Put this one here. You're okay. Salt and pepper. It's I thought it was always salt and pepper. I don't know. But that sounds weird to be there, right? Well, if we get to our target, you can see we are the champions, right? For one battle won. For one battle won, right? As I mentioned earlier, that's where you get the processes, of alignment right. It just follows it to a T. Oh no. Too good, we're going up. This is why you have to believe in your work. This is why you have to if you get the sign of strength, the retest buy, no supply to the market, buying, and then we want a little increase in buying. Boom. Now we're trying to absorb this high. And they say with the little kids in baseball, you can do it. You can do it. You got the Tuka, you got the right site or what? Move it up a little bit here. Just so we lock in 5 points there and 13 total points if we can stop out. Thank you, Eric. Mm-hmm. Kiss you a little bit higher now. I don't know, Jack. You did a pretty good trade. We're still waiting for your first one. You always remember your first St. Pauli girl, Jack. You always remember your first St. Pauli girl. In your case, we're waiting for your first trade. So you can yell at her all the time, but she actually does the work. Yeah, stuff. Oh my goodness gracious. What's the high right here? Oh goodness gracious. Oh goodness gracious. Out. Flat. 398.75 high. 25 was the sell. The reverse trend line. Doing in advance. When do we have the target? I think we did target around 10:30. What time's it now? 12:03. Psychologically, look at, you can kiss the sky. Look at that trade. Flat out. So that bought the low here. Lucky. Bought the structure here. Perfect retest. The reverse trend line. Now it falls short, remember, because we had this went up a little bit higher, remember? But this was our target to begin with. We're out.